Hello and welcome back to the Honour Display and to AEW All In out of 10. The build up to this pay-per-view has been one of the best for a long time. Every feud feels fleshed out and every title match feels like it matters for more reasons than just about. Hangman challenged Mox for the Men's World Championship and a Texas Death match that was one of the more highly anticipated bouts, as well as much more. But starting things off with the 0 Hour, the first match was the 8-man tag during Supercard of Honor with Rhodes, Guevara, Ross and Marshall Von Erich taking on Charlie Bravo, Sean Dean, Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. This was a decent opener with a few fun moments, but it left a lot of room for the matches that follow it to surpass it. The both faces getting the win was on a positive note. The second bout featured Archer, Hechicero, Trent and Rocky Romero taking on Hologram, Ishii, O'Reilly and Big Boom AJ. Some of this match was good, but he also got a lot of comedic value. And AJ went a little nuts when Beretta pushed his son, and that anger helped him get the win. Whatever. And up next it was FTR and the Outrunners. It's surprising this was on the main card because it's been a solid feud. It was more physical and fast bouts than previous bouts and allowed FTR to shine more as heels. Stokely got them a dirty win. Probably the best match, but I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. On the whole pre-show was alright. Before we got onto the main card, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs and Shibata taking the Death Riders for the Trios Championships. The former teacher and student started when Kid and Shibata began trading strikes. Both men got in some good hits before the wrestler came on top, before both men tagged out to Joe and Yuta. The early moments of this match were paced slowly. They took their time, making sure every hit was counted. Yuta was especially good at selling for Joe during this time. The longer this match went, the more physical and hard-hitting it became. All 6 men did some good work, but Hobbs had a few standout moments people will be talking about. The Kid fits perfectly fine with the Death Riders, but Pac was still missed here. His extra flying antics would have added an extra layer of fun. The losers, the Death Riders, got attacked the winners with chairs after the match and left them down and out. Joe seemed to be taken away on the stretcher. So yeah, it looks like this feud unfortunately isn't over. But I thought Joe getting a win for his team, pinning Yuta, was probably the right decision. Gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I'm intrigued for another match, but probably feels unneeded. Now the feud, should be done, but still nonetheless the right result. A fun match. I'll give it 7 out of 10. We then got the men's casino gauntlet. MJF and Mark Briscoe had one of the most personal feuds coming in. It escalated quite a bit through the week and became bitter with the mention of Dre, so it's appropriate for them to start. The newest member of the Hurt Syndicate took control early and celebrated a little prematurely. He disrespected Briscoe by pushing his crotch into his face, so the chicken popped him up to his feet and started unloading on his opponent. Ricochet was third in and teamed up with MJF to beat up Mark before Bandido joined, followed by Takeshita. Mystico came out and went right after his recent rival MJF. Mark and Mystico ended up getting MJF into arm bars on both arms, but Takeshita saved him to keep the match going as Josh Alexander joined the fray. Anthony Barnes, Roderick Strong, Brody Kane, returning Robinson, Ibushi, Mortos and Caster rounded out the competitors. The match was fun and designed to address different views. They did a good job managing it all and everyone had time to show them, but a few people definitely stood out. That was MJF, Briscoe, Ricochet and Takeshita. In the end, MJF got the win and earned a future title shot at the time of his choosing. And yeah, this definitely makes sense. Gets 7 out of 10 for me. I think for MJF to win it, it's definitely the right decision. It will really suit his character as well, and I think, tying to the whole Hurt Syndicate stuff nicely as well. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Due to Adam Cole's injury, his match with Fletcher was turned into a fatal 4-way with Dustin Rose, Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara added. Cole came out with the belt and said he had some health issues that's going to keep him out of action for a while. Cole shed tears and said he wasn't in the right headspace to talk about retirement, wanted to thank the fans. Roddy and KOR came out and hugged him as the crowd chanted. This is an emotional moment to witness and it's hard to listen to before going to this match, but yeah, obviously sending the best to him. Garcia shared a moment at the top of the ramp with Cole and made his way to the ring. It was going to be hard for anyone to follow that speech from Cole, so there's some pressure on these 4 men. Thankfully, they all killed it. Rhodes is a skilled veteran, Guevara is a gifted high flyer, Garcia's technical wizard, and Fletcher might be the most versatile talent at AEW. The crowd was quiet, still processing everything from Cole for the first minutes, but these 4 men did a good job under the circumstances. It would have been impossible for anyone to kind of follow up and put everyone in a good mood. Rhodes ended up winning with a cradle to become TNT champion. He cried as he celebrated and gave him a nice reaction from Texas. I guess it's only going to be a transitional reign for Rhodes, but still a nice moment for him. And I think, like I said, they handle everything well given what just happened. So yeah, 6 out of 10. We then got the Young Bucks versus Swerve and Will Ospreay. Nicholas and Matt Jackson's EVP roles were on the line, as well as Ospreay and Strickland's honing their ability to challenge for the world title on the line for a year. Both teams had special entrances that took up some time, a chance to reset after Cole's speech. The Bucks have a lot more experience than the teams. They were able to use that to their advantage and take control early. They sent Swerve and Billy go out the ring to regroup more than once. Once Ospreay and Swerve started working together, they were able to isolate Matt with double team moves, but only for a short time. They were a full world-class performer, so it wouldn't have been difficult for them to make it a bad match. match, but they slowed it down when they needed to and picked it up at the end. Other than the ref basically letting them ignore rules at one point, the match had everything going for it. Ospreay accidentally hit Swerve with the hidden blade and it almost certainly cost the match. They were all ready to hit their finishes at the same time to get the win and move the Bucks as EVPs. So yeah, good little storyline angle as well, and really worked nicely for me. And Jack gets an 8 out of 10. I think, yeah, they were never going to lose their ability to challenge for the titles, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it all goes next. So yeah, good stuff. We then got the Women's Casino Gauntlet. Statlander and Bane were the two competitors to kick it off. Nightingale was the third woman to enter, and she went right after Stat when she got to the ring. Taybano was the fourth entrant, and Anna Jay accompanied her to the ring since she was not competing. Harley Cameron showed up and shoved forward off the top rope when she was interfering, which got a big pop from the crowd. Thekla, Julia Hart, Sky Blue were by her side. Queen Alanata, Shirakawa, Athena Rossa, the debuting Sairi, and the debuting Alex Windsor made up the rest of the field. Much like the men's match, this bout gave each woman time and just different storylines. It had a lot of entertaining moments showcasing new talent, and Athena was able to pull off the win. I think that's definitely the right decision. Getting her onto AEW TV more often makes total sense given how good she is. So yeah, good stuff. 7 out of 10. Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley then put the tag titles on the line against Wayne and Christian and Knight and Speedball. The champions took out all four men as soon as the match got started and put their dominance on full display, while MJF helped behind the rest back whenever he could. The battle was chaotic and all over the place immediately, which made it fun without being hard to follow everything that was going on. While both sets of challenges had time in the driver's seat, the majority of this match had Hurt Syndicate taking it to everyone. Lashley hit Christian with a huge spear to pick up the win and retain the titles. This had some good stuff, even if it was a little unfocused, but it was dominant for the Hurt Syndicate. FDR had a face-off with the Patriarchy in a shocking betrayal. Wayne turned on Christian, hit him with the cool kill switch. He and Kit proceeded to beat him up while Mother Wayne laughed. FTR then joined him, but Copeland's music hit and he came out protecting his former friend. And yeah, put his weapon down, helped Christian to his feet and told him to go find himself before leaving. What an intriguing development. It felt like it's going to happen. I wasn't expecting it like this, but yeah, probably stole the attention from the match itself. But yeah, I'm very intrigued where it all goes and gets the 6 out of 10 from me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to future developments on this for sure. The Women's World Championship was up for grabs when Mercedes Moné challenged Toni Storm as she hoped to add a 7th bout to her collection. This was billed as the first match of a triple main event by Justin Roberts. There was a lot of pressure on Toni and the CEO. They were the only two women's champions in AEW right now, fighting over the top prize, so expectations high. The crowd chanted for both women as they looked up and made a cream bake. They weren't in a rush to pick up the pace, so they spent time posturing and playing to the crowd. While they may seem very different people, they have a lot more in common than first appear. They're both colourful characters, both versatile in terms of how they can work. Neither competitor felt like they had a clear advantage anyway, which helped make the outcome a little less predictable than most of their matches. Either one could have won and fans could have accepted it. On any other show it would have been the match of the night, but it was a very solid performance. They both left it all in the ring and both came close to winning before Storm preferred to retain their title. An intriguing outcome. I thought it'd go the other way, but I think, you know, it's a big win for Storm. Maybe could mark kind of the downfall in a way of Mercedes Moné, but I've got no issue with that at all. A really fun match and gets an 8 out of 10 from me. It was then winner takes all when Omega and Okada combined to fight for the new Unified Championship. The rivalry between these two has come legendary at this point. Most of their time together was in New Japan, but both bouts had bigger stakes than their previous encounters. Omega's entrance included several singers with hooded braves on stage. Ibushi and Kaz were both at ringside. There were a big fight feel to this match, especially during the official introductions. The Rainmaker was the first one to take control, but we didn't have it for long. They went back and forth a few times before Okada blasted the moonsault with his knees to begin an onslaught of the offense focused on Omega's midsection. Out of every match on the card, this one had the highest expectations. The previous Raw classics, as it looked like Omega was going to win with a one-winged angel, Kalish yanked the ref out of the ring and stomped on him to stop the count. Aubrey Edwards took him place so the match could continue. The match didn't have the same level of mayhem once some of their previous fights had gone, but it was still an outstanding performance, and the Rainmaker secured the win to become the Unified Champion thanks to his signature clothesline. And yeah, for me this makes sense. This was probably the right result. Enjoyed some of the chaos, but it's also a great match between two brilliant performers. So yeah, gets an 8 out of 10 from me. The final contest of the night was the Texas Death match between Moxley and Page. Shafir was at ringside for support as the bitter rivals started the match by trading punches. Hangman had Mox down in the corner and stomped a mud hole in him as the crowd went wild. Page drew first blood by repeatedly stabbing Moxley in the head with a fork. It was a brutal scene because you could see the wound opening up as it happened. There was no hiding it. It was not like they had some hits and then Mox had time to use a blade. It was the fork doing all the damage. The match lived up to its name and then some. We saw saw them use everything you could think of to hurt each other, including broken glass and the previously mentioned fork. As expected, the rest of the Death Riders showed up to give Mox an unfair advantage, but that didn't stop Hangman from fighting back. They told us a great story using as much violence as possible. It wasn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it made people talk. Ospreay tried to give Page some assistance, but he ended up being taken out. Darby appeared on one of the big screens and gave Mox a warning before Danielson showed up and took out Yuta with a Psycho knee. He got rid of Kid and Claudio too. Allin descended from the ceiling on the rope and had a face-off with Mox. Page used his opportunity to hit a pair of buckshots, followed by a Deadeye through a table at the ringside. Mox then recovered and hit a stomp and a paradigm shift onto a bed of nails. Priz down a handcuff Shafir to the timekeeper's table, and Swerve showed up with a chain to take out the Bucks. He gave the chain to Hangman to use against Mox, and he used it to hang the champion out over the top rope until he tapped out. Page began crying as he removed the title from the briefcase and displayed it to the crowd for the first time since Mox won at Wrestle Dream. This was the only way this pay-per-view could end, to send the crowd home happy, and it definitely did that. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I thought a brilliant way to do it, and I think it's just the reset that AEW needs at the top. Overall, AEW All In gets an 8 out of 10 from me. AEW is not a perfect company by any means, but the pay-per-views are normally brilliant. Some of the matches here are excellent. Rhodes winning a title was a feel-good moment. Coates' return, obviously we had the hugely emotional Adam Cole moment, which kind of brought us down a bit, but best wishes to him. But I thought on the whole, it was excellent from start to finish. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.